warn ya!
Right.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
This guy, Chris Stuckman, a popular YouTube creator around movies, has fulfilled his dream releasing a feature-length film in the cinemas. But somewhat recently, he has been running into a little bit of controversy around the topic of film criticism. And the saddest part of all, a forbidden love lost in the process. But it is his dream, our nightmare. Shelby has been a film that's been in the making for quite some time, but he did manage to get the incredible Mike Flanagan on board, thanks to him catching one of Chris's reviews of his film Oculus. His name alone, I think, has helped with a lot of the heavy lifting in picking interest on this film, as it understandably should with his incredible movie catalogue. This being a found footage movie, which ever since hearing, I felt it was a little bit safe to take this route, and it has been done endlessly. And unfortunately, which does contribute mainly to my biggest criticism of the film. It brings nothing new to the table, but not only that, it almost feels like a rip-off of movies before it, with heavy inspirations from elsewhere. Now, hey, I know that we're talking about the horror genre, and that can seem like every movie that comes out, but without wanting to really spoil anything, I can't delve into what I'm referring to, but you will certainly understand after viewing. I am also a scaredy cat. I mean, I never thought that I would be able to go to the cinema alone to see a horror film. The scariest part of this film for me, though, was the nearly dying and choking on a crisp while I'm trying to be quiet doing so. Riley, her little sister, has went missing, and Mia, well, she's on the hunt to find out what has happened. Another one of the biggest problems of the film, the whole mystery around it, which is kind of a key component here, is just so not interesting and not compelling at all. And frankly, I don't think it makes any sense. You just probably thought, hey, I would think it's quite cool and something somewhat different to have some kind of dogs with glowing eyes as killer pets. Maybe there is deeper meaning to it all, but I just left the cinema. Frankly, I couldn't give a flying. And I almost felt like I had been took advantage of and been touched in ways that I never asked for.
Okay, Charlie. Show us on the doll.
Show you what?
Where he touched you.
Slow.
Cliches like really loud noises and people screaming super loud. It's just full of these cheap attempts at scares. Really zoomed in faces and slow pans feels like it was a crutch throughout. Almost anything would scare this lady.
Well, hello there.
Okay, on that one, to be fair, he is actually quite scary as that Toy Story film goes on. You're probably thinking that this is maybe the worst movie of the year at this point. Now, that's not necessarily the case. Chris clearly has a lot of passion and creativity, and that is seen throughout the film. And I definitely think he shows a lot of skill and competency as a filmmaker. A few moments that were of interest is the first 20 minutes or so, with Mia watching back a tape that is mysteriously left, along with a clearly creepy old lady in a mould-ridden house. And I can certainly understand why Chris was overjoyed, because I did watch his videos in the lead up of the release of the film. He was really happy to have Sarah Dern as Riley and Camille Sullivan as Mia. These were big hitters, and they pulled it off in the role, and they both really prop up the film to a higher standard. Unfortunately, these points, though, they can't make up for what is really rather an uninteresting story, an incredibly unscary film. I think this really would have done better if it had landed on Shudder. I think that was a really perfect fit. But Shelby Oaks gets 2 stars out of 5. I'd definitely like to see him try something else, but maybe next time around, hand the writing reins to somebody else. Have you seen Shelby Oaks, and what did you think about it, or are you going to be checking it out? Let me know down below. But in the meantime, why not check out what YouTube thinks you will also really enjoy just here